What's everybody? What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday evening. Hope all is well with everyone. Listen, we hit our semi goal. Where our goal is 40K, but we hit 38,000 as we thought we would. I believe it was it early this morning or late last night. I'll ask Nevada. Either way, thank you guys. We are zooming towards our goal, which is 40K. But on the way, we're going to keep counting down to the next marker, which will be 39. So thank you for that. Also, please like the video. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe, and also hit that bell notification so that you get pop-ups when we go live. It'll show up on your device. Boom, you can dive right in. And what up, chat? How's everybody doing? I haven't shouted y'all out in a while. Stilly Matt, what's up? Karis, what's good? Dennis Moore, I see y'all. Mark Swick, all the usuals. Y'all do a great job in here. I see the super chats are already rolling in already. Look at y'all going. This is the dopest chat on the planet, certainly in Buckeye Nation. For those who are new to this channel, dive right in. Also, when you send those wonderful super chats, remember, helps to go towards the Pay It Forward, which is our military and our first responders. We're going to look out for them because they always look out for us. Before I bring Nevada in, we are going to talk about, again, like clockwork, new allegations against Sherrone Moore. We told y'all, we wake up in the morning, you just never know what's going to update or break with these scandals. And like clockwork, here it is, Nevada. What's up, brother? What's going on, man?
Yeah, there's a crazy story, just gets crazier and crazier and crazier. And yeah, before we get into that, I do want to just thank everybody for subscribing. We went over it actually last night. We went over I was actually there looking at the thing when it clicked to 38,000, which was amazing. And for all you people that enjoy the audio format, like I said, go over to Apple Podcast, subscribe. It's free for you to do, and you can just go over there and just click subscribe. Easy, cheesy, and it really, really helps us out. So thanks so much for showing up, and thanks so much for supporting the channel. But yeah, the Sherrone Moore story, I keep I'm all reminded that life is that I said it before, but the E plus R equals O. If he would have just not gotten crazy, this story would have been kind of funny and whatever, but it wouldn't have been anything. And it's like, man, he made this like one of the biggest stories in sports, one of the biggest stories in the world right now, and it just keeps getting juicier and juicier. So yeah, crazy Sherrone Moore. We were thinking that we were going to be going in a totally different direction today, but then Sherrone Moore just kind of dragged us right back into his saga. So here we are on Wednesday talking about the Michigan thing again.
Keeps dragging us back in. And I'm going to show y'all, just so you can see what I'm talking about. Bruce Feldman from The Athletic posted this. Sherrone Moore had a long history of domestic violence against a Michigan staffer. And here is a little note here from Intrinsic, our super friend buddy Intrinsic. Caption: she has an aggressive lawyer and 2 years worth of data on her phone. Think about that. Let me bring you back in. Nevada. Showing this Twitter here from Intrinsic, and here's the screenshot. The lawyer went on to tell Emergency Dispatch that Moore has been stalking her for months. Welker said at the hearing, adding that Sharp later alleged to officers when they arrived on the scene that Moore had a long history of domestic violence against the client and that he was dangerous, very dangerous. So what we're laying out here, for one, is that, again, there's just more evidence that this stuff has been going on for a while, right? This is not just a one-off where, all of a sudden, the whistle was blown and he just snapped. No, there were things going on apparently beforehand. And Nevada, I was telling you about John U. Bacon, the famous Michigan, media guy. He's written books, and he's one of their trusted media people. And so I'm looking at a quote from him from the Wolverine, and I'm not going to read all of it, but I'll read this much. It says, all they have to do is ask for cell phones back and probably crack the mystery. We know for sure Sherrone Moore is not a criminal mastermind based on his Instagram account with 300 OnlyFans models on it. And that was true after he was fired. Quote, so they could have gotten to the bottom of this, I believe, before the season started, When it finally broke last week, it's because the assistant in question, she brought the receipts, if you will, the text message, the emails, the voicemails, you name it, to the authorities at the University of Michigan on the Hill, not athletics, but where the administration is. That ended things very quickly. So this is John U. Bacon talking, Nevada. And of course, this is their guy. And it seems like he's implying that, like he said, this could have been ended. It basically, it kind of goes hand in hand with what Spiro said, Nevada, is that from everything he's gathered, all he's reported, investigated, all the information he has, he feels like, and he likes to be charitable. Spiro, he, regardless of how much y'all hate him, you Michigan fans, he is actually very charitable, right, Nevada, with stuff. He's very how can I put it? I don't know a better word for charitable. Point is that he's going to try to give you the benefit of the doubt. Spiro's basically saying that Michigan could have really pressed harder and maybe got more answers if they wanted to, but because of that Ohio State win, it kind of like kept the hounds off. But of course, after he lost, hounds released. And so this kind of lines up with that, Nevada. So I wanted to read his quote.
Well, here's what I've been told, and I'll fit what I've been told into kind of the story and what you've heard and kind of the narrative that's out there, because there's some subtle but important changes in the story, I think. What I've been told by my Michigan contact was that the origination of all this drama with the assistant was her being fired earlier in the week, that she was fired. And so after she was fired, that's when she decided to bring the receipts. You know what I'm saying? So they were moving on her. She flipped the script on him, then dropped the hammer on Sherrone, and then he got fired, and that's when he then left to go over to the house. Now, the other thing that I was told by my Michigan contact is that this whole thing about this history of abuse is, she had expressed to many people that she was afraid of him, and when this thing went down, she was fleeing. That the Michigan says she was racing to get out of town because she was afraid of exactly this happening. Wow. And so when she got home, she's throwing stuff in the thing, and all of a sudden she hears a car doors, the doors open, and Sherrone Moore's in her house. And you imagine how terrifying that must have been for her, because he's not a small guy. And you know, all of a sudden this guy comes racing into your house. I'm sure he wasn't calm, cool, and collected as he was in there searching for the Crayola scissors and the butter knife to splash his jugular vein with. But I mean, that had to be an absolutely terrifying experience, especially for somebody, you know, if you've had a history with him. But, you know, the important thing about them moving on her earlier in the week is they were trying, that's the whole thing, that Sherrone Moore was trying to cover this thing up by getting rid of her earlier in the week, and he flipped the script on her. But like for Michigan always knew about this. I don't care if Justin wants to be charitable. Justin is a charitable guy. He gives people the benefit of the doubt. He won't say anything unless he absolutely has it. I am telling you, this was the worst kept secret in the state of Michigan. Everybody knew that he was doing it. It only became intolerable behavior for him being a philanderer, for him having impregnated her and forced her to get into an abortion, and this extracurricular activities and this extramarital affair after he lost Ohio State. So Michigan could try to do all this. Well, we didn't know. Well, we had an investigation before. Well, we couldn't move until we had the receipts from her. Baloney. Like, as John U. Bacon said, all you have to do is ask for a cell phone. Just ask for a cell phone. Everything on a cell phone that's on a company that's on the University of Michigan cell phone is subject to review. They can review all. They can pull all that stuff up. That's all they had to do, and or ask for her cell phone. She's an employee of Michigan. Ask for her cell phone, and if he doesn't provide it, then she's hiding something. So they could have done this. They chose to be willfully ignorant of it. But for this thing to be like, oh, it wouldn't have happened had she not brought the receipts, and that, no, it wouldn't have happened had he not gotten his ass blown out by Ohio State in the big house. That was it. Yeah, that literally was it, man. I mean, come on, B. Could you draw any other conclusion?
Not at all. I mean, listen, we all know that's the case. And it's funny. I'm about to bring up Spiro right now. We talked about him being charitable. He was not that charitable in this right here, Nevada. This tweet. I'm about to read this tweet. If you have not followed Justin Spiro on X, do that now. Fantastic follow. This is what he said about Sherrone. Sherrone Moore is one of the most. Sherrone Moore is one of the least sympathetic figures ever caught in a situation like this. I've seen the messages. I've seen him try to arrange meetings with married women and total strangers. At least 2 women believe they were in a relationship with him. Well, 4 if we're including his wife and secretary. Michigan had known about his issues for at least 18 months. And they tried talking to him. He didn't listen, which was a lot of bravado for someone lucky to get the job in the first place. Sherrone Moore was a clown, taunting Ohio State fans and calling out the entire Oklahoma student section before getting his doors blown off in Norman. He used his power and influence to name a pizza after his mistress at Ann Arbor's most popular bar.
Hello,
For
little
crying
bell
out
jug.
loud.
Little bell jug. Can I like just Ron
Yeah,
Moore?
this is
Can I
Funky
get a
Bug. Can I get the? He was a third base born charity case hire who lied to his employees repeatedly. His personal misconduct was a constant source of embarrassment. In his defense, he was also a repeat offending cheater in athletics and a total basket case. Spiro was not charitable on that tweet, Nevada.
Well, sometimes Justin just comes out and speaks the truth, and I would say that he gave kind of the unvarnished truth on that one because I mean, Sherrone Moore was one of those guys that, like you said, he's not a sympathetic character. This isn't a tragedy like Jim Harbaugh was talking about. How this is a tragedy for poor Sherrone. It's like, come on, guys, this is it's not it's a tragedy for his wife, for his kids, but not for him. This guy was overpaid millions and millions of dollars. The idea that he was the Michigan head coach, can you imagine how this must have gone to his head after he beat Ohio State last year? I mean, can you imagine, like, this guy who's a total clown, who's a total imposter, and all of a sudden, somehow, some way, he lucks into a victory in Columbus against that team last year, and he had to be insufferable. He had to be absolutely insufferable. He had to be like, King Kong ain't got nothing on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, great line. Come on, great line. What's that from?
No, that's a fantastic line. I'm sorry. I got an update from my guy, Nevada.
Okay.
The Michigan interim president just did a video on Twitter explaining the investigation into the athletic department. Now we're on air, so it's 2 minutes. I just basically told my guy to update me, and so it says bring this up. John Bacon, Thrashing Ward, and Sherrone on Fine Ball Show, and then the scum president's talking about getting rid of bad employees. And now also there's 3 different articles, national articles that have popped up about this. So basically the president apparently is talking about who he's going to whack. And then Bacon is thrashing Ward. We know Ward is gone. Even this video, Nevada, is basically it's ominous. Like, we know Ward's about to get fired. We know it's happening. So it's just the slow drip of all this coming together, man. And these national articles, the sharks are not swimming away. They're still circling. And so I'm getting real-time updates. So my bad. Excellent line. That is a top 5 all-time line in movie history. So I have to give it his credit, but I was distracted by this breaking news from my guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that is certainly breaking, and it is kind of funny watching this. This is like when Caesar was executed. This is like getting a slow motion replay of, like, the knives are out, the Ides of March, and they're getting ready with the thing to assassinate Ward, and Ward knows it. Ward knows it. He's just kind of going along and trying to do his thing. Now, I want you to know they did have their first formal interview for the Michigan head football coaching job today. This is a true story. This is not a joke. This is not Nevada being. They had a candidate interview today. You know who the candidate was?
Who?
Biff Poggi.
That's our guy.
That's our guy. Come on,
our guy.
Come on, man. Come on. I mean, because it looks like you've got, obviously, Kalen DeBoer out, Jed Fish out, Eli Drinkowitz out. Jeff Brom out, even though now Scam Webb is going out saying that Jeff Brom's going to be the guy. Well, where did he get
Damn Webb.
that? Where did Scam Webb get that? That Jeff Brom, that like, I mean, Scam.
No, I think Brom. First of all, Brom is a Louisville guy, right?
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
that's his
yeah.
school. That's his alma mater. He played quarterback there. Actually, he played against the Buckeyes. I forget what team it was, but I remember that game. Point is, he's not going to leave Louisville, his home, where he's doing well for Louisville standards, to go to this dumpster fire. Do you believe that for a second, Nevada? Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I truly believe that they are Dillingham or bust right now. I mean, I think they are all in. I think they've got one shot, and that's Dillingham. And there are people on both sides of that right now. There are people. I've got people saying, "No way, he's leaving Arizona State," and I got other people going, "No, he might listen." But the fact that they finally got an interview, they finally got somebody to interview for the job, and it was the Biffster,
Yeah,
our guy, our candidate. I mean, we get that. Like I said, you and I are going to Gibson's, man. We're going together. It's going to be a road trip. I'm going to get out there. We're going to jump in the car. We're going to drive to Chicago, and we're going to head in there. We're gonna dress like the guys in Dumb and Dumber. I'm gonna wear like the orange tuxedo, and you'll be
I
like
want the
powder
orange
blue.
one. I want the orange one with the top hat.
And with the top hat, we'll wear the top hat. I'll wear the powder blue. And we're going into Gibson's, baby. And we're just ordering, all on Ohio State. He's paying.
I hope they have 2 owls in a cage we can whack with a champagne bottle. These guys are professionals. Another great movie.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, it's so crazy that watching this Michigan uh coaching search go on is just it's so much fun. It's so much fun. But the fact that Ward Manuel's being fired, and you're like, well, then who in the heck can be conducting this thing? And and
Right.
for any worthy coach, that's a big issue. And right now, I'm not even sure how they're even doing the process. You wonder, you've got board of regents or whatever, there's those people. But I'm told those guys aren't in it right now. I think it's literally just Len Perna running this thing. And so that's why I think Dillingham's, if you look at the betting markets right now, the prediction market, Dillingham's the guy, but he's less than 35% confidence. So that, like, nobody knows. Like, nobody knows who's this going to be. But guys just keep dropping off the thing. The Jed Fish thing, the Eli Drinkwitz, the Kalen DeVore. They're all like, nope, 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 nope. And we thought this was going to be a tough putt. We saw
Yeah.
it play out with Penn State. Penn State didn't exactly get their first or second or third choice on this thing, and now Michigan's going through it right now. And I think I do not believe we had a little debate on our message board today about, is the Michigan job a top 15 job? And I don't think it's a top 15 job in America anymore. I'm not talking about historically. I'm not
Yeah.
talking about the stuff that happened back in the 1800s. I'm talking about right now. Is it a top 15 job? I don't think it is. I don't see how it could be.
Yeah. Michigan fans will get irate with you. Even if you even say it's not a top 5 job, I mean, they just come up out of, I mean, they get upset. But you're right. Listen, I don't know about 15. I would debate top 10 at like number 9 or number 10 or something, just because of their money and the Big Ten and, all the other stuff, maybe. But it's certainly not top 5, like, at all. That's not even, how can we can go through the different things, not even just talking about right now, Nevada, because of the scandals, but just think about this. You don't have the recruiting base that Ohio and the South has. You get some of your recruits from Ohio. Michigan is not like a fertile recruiting ground, for one. You have to battle with Michigan State. That's another thing. It's like, you, for whatever reason, you have not recruited well consistently for years. They might have a good class and then dip down, good class. You haven't recruited well at Michigan, period. And so, of course, you got all this going on right now. Why would this be a top 5 job just because you have a big brand and money? It doesn't make sense, but they get upset, Nevada, when you tell them that, and it's just the truth.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm like I said, we could go through and kind of go through a list of the teams, but like I just don't see this being one of those jobs that like they had people on the board were talking about it, and like you could go like USC is what's a better job now, USC or Michigan?
USC.
Not even close, right?
Yeah, that's easy. Right now. We're not talking
Right
about
now.
in the 90s. Talking
No,
about
we're not
right
talking about
now.
that. Yeah, we're talking about right now. 2025. What's a better job? And like you go down the list on the teams, and it's like it's hard. I'm telling you, you'll have a hard time getting them in the top 15. If you have you have pull you have the top 25 out there, pull the thing out there. I mean, you can just go down the list and say better job, better job, better. I'm telling you, I don't think they're in the top 15.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up now because I feel like I'm missing off the top of the head. You know how you just forget some programs. So let's pull it up here, and I'll share my screen, and we'll go through it, and then we can get the super chats. That's a great idea, Nevada. Because off the top of the head, I'm going to forget somebody, and we don't want to do that. Okay, here we go. Boom. So let me go. All right. So obviously, okay, Indiana. Is Indiana a better job than Michigan right now? That did I lose Nevada? There he is. Okay, Nevada. I was talking to you, but I didn't know you were gone.
Well, you know what's happening. Somehow your sound is leaving me, and I know that you're not muted. And the only way I did is to reboot. It's a very weird thing. So if you see me going off, it's literally because of the sound. But anyway, I knew that you were going. I knew you were carrying the show in my absence.
Got you. All right. So look, I got to pull it up, and to me, we got an interesting one out the gate. Indiana today, is Indiana today a better job than Michigan?
I think Indiana is a better job than Michigan now, right now.
Okay. Today.
Yeah. Today.
Ooh. That's tough for me because it's one of those things where you see Indiana, even just coming to grips with the fact that they just won the Big Ten and beat Ohio State for the first time in a gajillion years. I'm not tripping off of it, but it's still kind of crazy to even fathom that. I mean, they had not beat it since the 80s. And so, seeing Indiana is still weird. Football, not basketball, but football. But yes, today, stability, what they're doing right now. Again, people, we're talking about today, not with Bo Schembechler and whatever. None of that. Today. So I have to agree with Indiana. Excuse me. Obviously, Ohio State is a better job. Always is, always will be. Number 3 is Georgia. Nevada, do we even need to waste time?
No, we don't need to waste time on that one.
All right. Texas Tech. Interesting.
I mean, that's a borderline one. I mean, I think it's a better job, but I mean, let's put that one to the side for now. Let's put Texas Tech to the side for now.
Put it to the side. Okay, Oregon. I'm going to say yes.
Way better. Better job. Way better job.
Another interesting one. Ole Miss at number 6.
Let's put them to the side right now too. I mean, they're in that kind of that close category right there.
So I'm going to take a note here. We got Texas Tech and Ole Miss to the side.
Yep.
Right. Okay. Boom. Next, we got Texas A&M.
Better job.
Okay. So Texas A&M, better job. I agree with you, and I'll tell you why I agree, people. Texas A&M. We're talking about right now, okay? And this is why I was kind of leaning toward maybe having Texas Tech being better because, matter of fact, I'm just going to say it now. Is that cool with you, Nevada? I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
There was a video somebody sent me of like a Texas Tech billionaire who was talking about how they used the NIL window before all the restrictions came in to build their roster. And basically just throw millions into their roster. And now they're in the playoffs. So, I mean, they have the support. They got that Texas oil money. If we're talking about right now, and that's the thing about it, that's the challenge mentally, even for us, is that Texas Tech historically can't hold a candle to Michigan, brand-wise, and as far as, all that. But right now, it's definitely, we can come back to it, but that's what kind of gives me like, ooh, I might go Texas Tech. But anyway, yep, I agree with A&M for similar reasons. Oklahoma, better job.
Better job. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Alabama,
better job. Way better
yeah.
job.
Miami.
I think Miami's a better job.
Okay. And the reason why I kind of there's not much hesitancy, but Miami's recruiting base alone makes it a
Yes,
better job. Exactly.
exactly.
Regardless of their whack fan base who doesn't show up for games and not, that don't their fan base. If it wasn't for the Ohio State Blocko and Brian Hartline and Ryan Day, Jeremiah Smith might be at Miami just because this just the base. They got that type of talent down there. So yes, Miami. Notre Dame.
Way better job.
Okay. Yep. All right. Ooh, number 12, BYU. What about that one? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think we can go get quite BYU. I don't think BYU's better job than Michigan.
Yeah, no, that's it's too restrictive
Yeah.
for a lot of different reasons. Texas, way better. They're top 5.
Yeah, way better.
Right. Now, another interesting one, Vanderbilt.
Not there yet, but close.
Okay. All right, I agree. I think they have access to better recruiting, but it's still Vanderbilt. And no, yeah, I agree. Utah at number 15.
No.
Okay, I agree. USC, we already mentioned. Yes, they
way,
are.
Way better. Way better.
Yep. Now this is a good one. Arizona at number 17.
Close, but no.
Okay. Now, I'm interested. Why do you say close?
I think they're close because I think they're kind of in a similar situation where they're formerly terrific brands that don't really have much of a recruiting base, but they're still pretty good.
Okay. All right. And I got because they got they still have access to the West Coast recruiting, Cali and stuff like that.
Exactly.
All right. So obviously skipping 18, Michigan, number 19, Virginia. I'm going to go with no.
No. Yeah.
Tulane, obviously no.
Yep.
21, Houston, obviously no, right? Although they got that Texas base.
Yep.
We'll say no. Georgia Tech, no. And then Iowa, no. And then James Madison in North Texas, of course not.
Okay, so where did we come up? Did we get them in like 12 or 13 or something like that?
Let me see. I'll count. Do we want to circle back? Texas Tech and Ole Miss?
I'm going to say yes, those are both better.
Okay. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, not including Arizona, which you were close on, 13.
Okay, so they're the 14th best player. Yeah. No, look, I think that's probably a fair stand of where they are in the college football world right now. And I think that's why they're having a problem attracting a head coach. I think that the guys that are at the jobs ahead of that don't want to go. They don't want to go to Michigan. They view it as at best a parallel move, at worst a step down. And you've got a scandal-ridden program with a roster that just doesn't. I mean, that's the other thing I look at is how good is your roster? When you talk about teams like Texas Tech or Texas A&M or Miami or Ole Miss or any of those programs that we were talking about that were kind of on the fence, every one of those teams has got a better roster than Michigan. You know what I'm saying? So if we're talking about like the right now for like a head coach heading into the job, I mean, at the end of the days, it's not the X's and O's, it's the Jimmies and Joes. And the Jimmies and Joes at Michigan aren't good. Their recruiting sucks. Their roster. I mean, I've challenged you before, and you follow this as close as anybody. Name me a player on the Michigan team that you'd want to have on our team. And
maybe the kicker. That's it. Maybe
in years gone by, you might have been able to come up with a Colson Loveland or a Kenneth Grant or a whomever on that team. Will Johnson now can't do it.
Yeah, I would do maybe the kicker, just because we're coming off of a missed field goal by Fielding. But other than that, that is the kicker, and we'll get Nevada back in a second. But yeah, I mean, to his point, it's just the truth. It's just the truth. Nevada, I was saying maybe the kicker because of Fielding missing the kick. But other than that, no.
No, and that's amazing. I mean, what a weird spot to be in where there's not a single player that we want. But I think that for head coaches, man, they got that stuff they got to look at. They got to look at because you're expected to win. You're expected to win, and as we said, you're not only expected to win. You're expected to win, and then you're also expected to beat your rival on top of
Yep.
that. And for Michigan head coach, man, it's like I said, Dillingham or bust, Dillingham or it's going to be Poggi time for Michigan, and that boy, how funny will that be?
We are going to laugh so hard when this happens. I mean, and again, the funnier thing, Nevada, is going to be the Scam Webs, the Chris Baylesses, the Isaiah Holes, the whoever. They're going to applaud it. They're going to sunshine pump it, and he's the right guy to lead this program. He knows it. No, it's going to be trash. But I was going to say earlier, and we can get the super chats. Do you think they interviewed Poggi first to say, look, buddy, you're going to be our last resort. So we want to just get that out the way now. Okay. If we don't find a better option, we're going to offer you the job. And we don't want to embarrass ourselves if you turn it down. Are you going to accept it if we get to that point of humiliation? You will? Great. Nice day, Poggi. Have a good one. I think that was probably what happened in the meeting. What you think?
Well, I definitely think they wanted to have somebody they knew they could go to. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
Poggi, for whatever reason, has got a lot of support with the players. And I kind of liken it. That's always kind of the way when you got the existing guy and people like I saw that with Luke Fickle when Luke Fickle was here during that interim coach year. There was a lot of support for Luke Fickle to have the job. And in hindsight, that might have been a little early for Luke, and maybe it would have been. I mean, who knows how it would have turned out? But my sense is it probably would have been difficult. And I think you know, for Poggi, I think they're just. I mean, they've got to face the really reallys right now, which is they may not get any of the top 10 guys on their list, and it may be a matter of last man standing. And Poggi, I mean, I think the fact that he was the first guy to interview for this is absolutely they want. It's like when you're applying to schools when you're going to college and you have your safety school, so you like apply to that, just in case all the other schools kind of go on you and you're kind of done. What can you do? Then at least you got these guys. I think that's what they're doing with Poggi. I think Poggi's their safety school.
Yep. I agree. And so you don't think I'm crazy then? You think that was probably like it may have not been that, condescending as I made it, but I do think there's something to that. And it seems like you do too.
Oh, no
So
doubt.
yeah, so real quick before we get to super chats, again, I want to circle the block on this because I see a comment here basically saying, they don't agree. I want to restate the rules of what we were saying. Are these schools a better job today? Not 3 years ago, not 10 years ago, not 50 years ago, today. Meaning everything that's going on in both programs, you have to deal with, good or bad. So, for example, Nevada, I see a comment about Indiana, not being a better job today. Okay, cool. Michigan is scandal ridden. They have no AD. The national media and beyond, every content creator you can think of is just circling the waters and just they're the laughing stock. Okay. You got that. And I'm not even naming, I'm summarizing the foolishness. Indiana, who, yes, is not a historical power at all. But right now, today, back-to-back playoff appearances, the 1 seed, their quarterback just won a Heisman. Their coach is arguably the hottest coach in the country. And they've been working the portal right. So today, this is what I'm trying to. And listen, if you still disagree, cool. I just want to be clear about what we're saying, okay? Because that's what you're picking, right, Nevada? Like, am I leaving anything out?
Well, no, I mean, let's look the criteria. My criteria is, you want to look at alignment with your bosses. So, who's the president? Who's the AD? So, any schools that's got an interim president and AD that you have no idea who's going to be the AD, that's certainly a strike against it. Okay, so
Yep.
let's do that. Secondly, if your school's on NCAA probation,
Ooh.
then that's a strike against you as well. You can just kind of put a strike out. Then you look at the roster. If your roster's not loaded with talent, then that's another strike against you. And then I look at like your recruiting base. How's how's your recruiting been historically, and how's your recruiting base to be able to proffer things up? And then I would look to last to like NIL support, or support of the donors. And I think that's the one thing that Michigan has kind of had, even though we're hearing that Larry Ellison has pulled his support for the University of Michigan. We're not sure. We can't confirm that yet. But that's like the one area where they're a plus on the check marks. But every other of the criteria that I listed, they're a minus. Every single one of it. So for me, it's kind of simple that, why I look at other jobs that have not historically been as highly rated, where Michigan's at. I mean, I think I'm being generous with Michigan right now. If there's some other criteria that I should be looking at, I'm open to listen to it, but I don't really know what that would be. I mean, I'm talking about stuff that affects, the quality of your football team in 2025 and beyond. I think the stuff that I hit really does it, and other stuff isn't that important.
Yep, I agree. And again, if this was 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, I wouldn't say in Indiana, y'all. Just to be clear, like we're talking about today, what you got to step in today. I want y'all to really understand that. All right, let me go ahead and get to these super chats. But before I do, please do me a favor, like the video. If you have not hit that thumbs up, like. Also, if you have not subscribed, please take a second and hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification so you get our videos when we go live. Greatly appreciate y'all. Let's get into the super chats. Ernie Gonzalez, thanks for the $4.99. Friday, I get to go walk into the Ann Arbor VA with all my OSU gear on. What a joy it would be. Yes, you should do. I don't know if you got social media. I think you do. You should do like a little video of yourself walking in and getting like the reactions of the people there. I think that would be good, Nevada.
Well, yeah, I think you got to dress up like Buckeye guy, wear like the cape and the whole 9 yards and a white cowboy hat, and go out there and kind of
eye black and all that.
Eye black, just go in there and stroll on in there and kind of do that. But no, it is nice that when we beat Michigan, that it's not so much. I wear my gear anytime. I've never stopped wearing my gear. I always wear my gear no matter what. But it's the Michigan fans, how the cockroaches, when you turn the light on and they're scurrying into the corners. But for the past few years, they've just been insufferable with that urine yellow stuff that they wear around, and like they're all proud of their Michigan thing. And now it's just nice that they've gone back into the hole, because they know they don't have they don't have anything going for them right now, and it's just nice that we've been able to put them back in their place.
Yeah, they're still trying to save face online. I mean, their trolls are still. I mean, the lack of self-awareness is amazing with some of these guys that come on like on my page, on my Buckeye page, and other posts trying to act like, like you got little brother and you guys are rent free. Just shut up. Just go away. Just hide. Just go hide. You're embarrassing yourself. You always embarrass yourself, but especially now. Talk about the lack of self-awareness. All right, what we got here? We got Chorus. Thanks for being a Scoop Ultra member for 25 months. It's a long time. We greatly appreciate you. Another day of the downward spiral. Exactly, Nevada. It's like I'm going through the day, and it's just like, oh, nothing yet. Just wait for it, and then boom, of course. Funky sends the article. It's like, of course, what I mean? It's like, what am I thinking here? And so, yeah, Nevada, are you surprised even remotely by that?
Well, no, just because I've been hearing this stuff, but the idea that your football coach was a stalker, was a serial abuser, was a wide open philanderer, when Spiro says, that he had four at least 4 women thought they were in relationships with old Sherrone. I mean, like, when did he have time to coach? That's what I was asking about Matt Weiss. Like, Matt Weiss, the largest voyeur of personal photographs in the history of the United States. And while he was the offensive coordinator there at Sherrone, when do these guys ever coach, man? It just seems like they were spending all their time chasing tail. And like, no wonder Michigan lost this year, right? I mean, but isn't it true? Isn't it supposed to be like, I always hear about how the job is like an 80-hour-a-week job, and it's the toughest job in all sports, and that's why they pay $1 million. Sherrone had plenty of free time on his hands. I can tell you that. Too much. What's that? Too much time on my hands. He definitely had too much time on his hands.
I mean, but Nevada, Jordan Marshall told us it was about the people and the culture. And,
Oh my gosh,
he
Sherrone
went to
Moore.
Michigan because there was better people there. And he
Oh my
didn't like
god.
some of the people at Ohio State. Like the head coach who was known for, mental health advocacy and literally, according to the own player, saved the player's life because of his, action in mental health and just all the other things we know about the coach. No scandals. On the flip side, took all type of heat and ridiculousness from a small portion of our base, and still kept on ticking, rallied the troops, and went on the greatest run in college football history. Yeah, I mean, terrible person, terrible culture. This brotherhood is, dozens of students getting baptized and, just all types of positivity because of our players and the leadership. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go to Michigan where they got better people and better culture, who basically are, DMing IG models and OnlyFans models during the halftime of the biggest game of the year. Oh, yeah. That's great culture, young
Well,
man.
the one thing I'll say for Michigan that Michigan does, Michigan has a better gluten-free pizza option. If you want a great gluten-free pizza option, go
They
to the
do.
Little Brown Jug. They do, and
They do.
because I know you and I've talked about that. So I'm like, hey, B, let's go get a hamburger, and you're like, hey, Nevada, I'd really like to get a gluten-free cauliflower pizza, and I'm like, man, I don't know where there's a good one in Columbus. I don't know
Dang
where to
it.
find one. Come on,
Like High
man.
Street is lacking. What are y'all doing on High
Exactly.
Street?
But you go to
Like
Little Brown Jug, get the paid shivers. They call it the PS. Call it the PS for
the
short. I like
PS.
the I like the PS gluten free pizza.
Oh man. What a stinking mess, man. I tell you. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But here we are. Survive the hunt. Thanks for the 1999. Congrats on 38,000, fellas. Proud of you and the Scoop fam. Thank you so much, Survive the Hunt. We appreciate you. We appreciate all of y'all. Again, we say this all the time. This show is great and fun and just a blessing because of y'all. Y'all make this show great. The illest chat in the world, literally all of YouTube. I'm biased, but I'm declaring it. Certainly Buckeye Nation. That's not even disputable. So thank you to everyone who watched this program, who tell your friends and who share. Me and Nevada, and Funky and Dev, and we have a great time, and we greatly appreciate y'all, Nevada.
Yeah, no, just I mean, so generous and so just thanks for the kind words. The show is nothing without the audience. Some are they say it's a audience driven show. We're just all about the audience. Like if you guys don't show up and ask the questions, that this is just me and B sitting here talking to each other and talking about gluten free pizza or other stuff like that. But when we get the audience, man, it really makes it go. So we appreciate you guys coming here and in increasingly bigger numbers. We're humbled by the response we're getting from you guys. So we really, really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we haven't forgotten about you haters. We appreciate you haters too who hate watches. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you too. There always has to be a yin and yang. So thank you for watching as well. All right, Survive the Hunt. Thanks for the $4.99. In 2025, even remote employees know who is sleeping with who at work. No way everyone on the sideline didn't know. Of course. Of course. And it's a don't you see a recurring theme, y'all? They didn't know. Nobody knew. Harbaugh didn't know about Stallions. He gave him the game ball. Nope, but he didn't know. This person and that person and that person didn't know. He was a lone wolf. It's just, do we not see this? Of course they knew. It doesn't matter what the scandal is. It's just like, whatever, same line. So yeah, Nevada, it's crazy.
Well, yeah, you stole my line for sure because I was just thinking that when this question came up, it's like Michigan. It's always nobody ever knows. Harbaugh has no idea who that guy is jumping up and down the side. Who is that guy? Who's that guy talking to the defensive coordinator in the middle of the game? Telling him to do. Why are all the players jumping up and down, pointing to the sky? What's going on right now? Like I don't even understand it. I mean, that's literally what they're asking you to believe. They're asking you to believe that like nobody knows. Nobody has any idea what's going on. The people of Central Michigan can know. Jake Costner can know. Jim McElwain can know. Everybody else can know. But look on this Sherrone Moore thing. Nevada Buck and B Moses and Funky Buck and Devin can know from thousands of miles away. We know about it, but the people that are right there, oh, didn't have any idea. They had no idea about what's going on. So it's uh it's kind of funny, that's always the refrain of the liars is, nobody knew or how could you possibly have known this? But they knew. And the fact that they found that they got discovery on this as soon as he lost, yeah, I
Right.
mean that seems a little too convenient for me. But yeah, I don't believe in coincidences, and that would be a big one for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, but they can continue to play dumb. That's what they're going to do. A buddy of mine actually, he said that a good idea for us to do is to do a parody of the Shaggy song. It wasn't me, and just have Michigan, people. If y'all haven't heard the Shaggy song, it wasn't me. YouTube it. It's a fun song. All right. So what we got next? We got Toledo Geo with another great line. Thanks for the two. Biff says, "Make like a tree and get out of here." Another great line. Now, back to you watch. You said you watched two. You still got to watch three, right?
I did you watch Patton yet?
So hear me out, okay? So listen, I'm at the part where they're arguing and debating over how they're going to attack Sicily. I'm going to
Okay.
finish the rest tonight. So you see that's
Okay.
proof
Yeah.
that I've gotten
Okay.
into it.
You've gotten proof. Yes, we've gotten
Yep,
proof.
that's proof. So
Okay.
that's where I let off at. I'm going to finish it tonight. So I'll have my review for that. But yeah, that opening rant, by the way, was epic. With the flag behind them, I can see how that's like a historical rant that people love. Great stuff. Great actor, by the way.
Yeah, that's a great opening for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, great opening. He's a great actor. But anyway, so Back to the Future, we talked about this. I love Back to the Future. You're not gonna find a bigger fan than me. But yeah, you still gotta watch part 3, Nevada.
I do. I'm gonna get that through this weekend. That's the great thing about having a buy is like I can watch part 3. I can do anything. I can give you the review on the Barry Gordy musical, The Last Dragon, and I can do something. I will do. I'm gonna do all my homework, and Back to the Future 3 is at the top of the list.
Is Biff Tannen a top 5 villain?
Yeah, well, I mean, he is a great villain. I mean, it's look to have a good hero, you need to have a great villain. That's like the Dirty Harry movies, like the
Yeah.
first Dirty Harry, like that was the best one because the villain, the Zodiac, the Scorpio killer, was like such a good one. But like, yeah, you got it. Biff is certainly memorable. He deserves more. Has he been in any other movies other than that? Like,
well, you know what? I think he's been in like little stuff I can't remember. Like I've seen him in stuff, but I don't remember what it was. It's crazy that he didn't get more roles after that, but sometimes that happens. I mean, he's eating good off of Back to the Future. He's eating good.
Well, it's kind of like Biff Poggi. Biff Poggi had a great role as the University of Charlotte head coach. Was wildly successful there at University of Charlotte. I think he was 2-10 or something like that. And now he's eating good as the head coach at University of Michigan.
Literally.
Yeah, literally.
Oh, that was wrong. I'm sorry. That was mean.
He's eating a lot.
That was mean. All right. Bourbon and Buckeyes. Thanks for the 2. Not in top 25, but LSU is a better job.
Yeah, that great call. Great call. Not even close.
Call.
Not even close. Not even debatable.
Yep, at all. Johnny Oakham. Thanks for the 199. Or is it John Yoakum? I think it's John Yoakum. Sorry about that. Michigan should abandon sports and join Ivy League. Yeah, I mean, they're always threatening to leave and go somewhere. Then just go. Bye. Like, listen, I love this rivalry, but I'd just be off for just growing up in it and living it. But right now, Nevada, with what they've done, the cheating and all this foolishness, I just don't care. It's just like you've ruined the game. You've ruined the rivalry. I still enjoy beating them because they deserve to lose. And I'm sure all of America enjoyed us putting it on them in their own in the big blouse. But this is not the rivalry I grew up on. Like you said the other day, Nevada, there was a respect right? It's like you hated them, but there was a healthy respect. And so now I have no respect for them. Like none, zero. And before, like, back in '06, the 1 versus 2, I hated them. I've always hated them. But it was a level of respect. And it's just not there for me, Nevada, right now.
No, I'm completely the same. I mean, I grew up being taught to respect the rivalry, to respect the opponent, the whole thing. And I always thought that that's the way the game was played. And Harbaugh changed it, man.
Yes,
Harbaugh
he did.
changed it. I mean, I think it really just even before with the stuff with the previous coaches at Michigan, Lloyd Carr, whomever, Rich Rod, anybody, like you beat them or you lost or whatever, but like it was just the cheating. It was just the cheat when they decided to on-field cheat. That
Yeah,
changed everything for me. It's not about
everything.
losing. Losing, I can handle losing, dude. We lost
Right.
a lot in the '80s and
Yes.
'90s. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? But it was the cheating and the fact that they were just so blatant about the cheating, so unapologetic about the cheating, and then even when discovered, they were like celebrating the cheating. And for
Yep.
me, that turned. I'll never get over that fact. I will never get over the fact that they celebrate the cheater and that Connor Stalions is a hero, not a pariah to them. And that to me is an unforgivable sin.
Very well said. And I'll just quickly add on to your point about losing. I just want y'all to know, Buckeye fans, Michigan fans out there listening. I grew up here in Columbus, Ohio. Okay. We lost to Michigan almost every year in the '90s. We had great teams. We had Eddie George, and I mean, I can go on and on and on. And we would lose to Michigan. Coach Cooper, he just, people try to wrongly peg Ryan Day as a Cooper, but that was always wrong. And obviously, he's proven that out by winning and then doing everything else he's done, winning a natty. But my point is that when we would lose Nevada, I wasn't talking big. I wasn't pretending. Like it was frustrating. I just had to hold the L, and it was just like they're beating us. And going into the game, the confidence was like, I'm not confident because of our coach, and it flows from the head down. The point is, we can take a loss. We took plenty in the '90s, legitimate losses. So for as far as we know, but legitimate losses. Now, no, we're not going to just concede when there's evidence and reports that you cheated. You turned the rivalry by cheating. And then last year, that turn of the rivalry by cheating and everything that came with it impacted the game, in my opinion. But guess what? It doesn't matter. We see what happened. The point is, though, I agree with you 1000%, Nevada. The cheating is what completely destroyed my respect for that team up north and their fans, period.
And let me turn that around. Like, say we had been on a long losing streak, and we were to Michigan for a long time, and then all of a sudden we won 3 games in a row, and it came out that we were spying on them or doing whatever, we were cheating. How would that make you feel as an Ohio State fan?
I would feel two things to answer your question. Number one, I would feel terrible as a fan. I would be embarrassed. But number two, as a sports guy who grew up playing football and basketball and in whatever other sport or anything competitively, I would have felt like this is trash. Like, if you have any integrity as a competitor on any level, I don't care if you didn't play college ball, high school ball, whatever. How can you walk around with your chest out knowing that you did not win fair and square, that what you did affected the actual on field, on court, whatever play? And so, Nevada, I would be livid as a fan and as a competitor who's played sports, bro. Like, and this is what always just really irritates me with Michigan fans, the intellectual dishonesty that has come with this whole scandal, the Connor Stallion scandal, and everything else. It's nothing but deflection. It's nothing but trestle. It's nothing but this and that, pointing to other things, and never really taking accountability for your own program. And so, honestly, just real talk, that's what really bothers me. Because to me, it's just like, dude, come on, like let's just be real here, but they're never going to admit it, Nevada, because that's just who they are. That's their culture. That's their fan base. That's their blue wall. It's just who they are. And so in the meantime, we can't make them do what they should do. But guess what? We're going to keep holding that L up in your face, holding you accountable, and we're going to keep putting it up for everybody to see. At least we are, Nevada.
Well, yeah, and I'm still mad about it. I don't know if I'll ever get over it. Um, because I just never seen anything like it. I've never seen a cheating scandal that was laid out in a 67-page report from the NCAA, and it's all there. It's all, this isn't the ramblings of Nevada Buck or B Moses's dreams or whatever. Like, this is all documented stuff.
Right.
And the fact that they're not just humiliated, because I know that we would be. That is the difference between Ohio State and Michigan fans. Ohio State fans would be mortified by something like this, and for Michigan fans, I think they had reached such a point of desperation because they've been just beaten so thoroughly broken by Jim Tressel and Urban Meyer, and then now Ryan Day doing it in 2019. That it was by any means necessary was okay with that. And that's what it's funny to watch them now go right back to where they were before. Now they're back in hell. Now they're back with the terrible roster, just getting violated by Ohio State. And Ohio State just keeps on trucking, probably going to win our second national championship this year. And they got to come to Columbus next year. I mean, it's just, for them, this is a nightmare that they're not going to escape from. And they're not going to get out of this with Biff Poggi or Kenny Dillingham leading the way.
Yeah, nope.
So the nightmare continues.
And we are here for it. Absolutely.
Yes, we are.
Mike Green, what's up, buddy? Appreciate you. Thanks for the 199. Did research on wide receiver coach Hankton from LSU. I like him. Nevada, I've seen so much. Obviously, it was posted that he's being interviewed, and there's buzz about that. I've seen so much mixed reviews about him, Mike, in Nevada. I've seen people say, no, we better not hire him. I've seen people like you who said they like him. Any thoughts on him, Nevada?
Well, what I'll say is, one, I have absolute trust in Urban Meyer to handle the hire. Urban Meyer, Ryan Day, right? Urban Meyer. Yeah, Urban Meyer. Ryan Day to handle. I don't even know where I got Urban Meyer. I was back on my Michigan rant. Ryan Day is going to make the right hire in terms of doing it. But to have a guy from a successful program that's had a documented success of putting wide receivers in the league. Now, you can debate whether he was the guy that did it, but the school certainly has Southern recruiting, contacts and things like that, which I think are really imperative for a coach that's going to be recruiting wide receivers, because a lot of wide receivers come from the South.
Yep.
And then third, having another African-American staff member, I think is a good thing. You know what I'm saying? And, again, I'm not trying to get all racial on the thing, but I just think that it's just smart in terms of having a decent demographic on your staff. You don't want to have a bunch of old white guys on your staff. And I think having a young African-American guy down in the South who knows Louisiana, who knows Mississippi, who knows Florida, who's had success recruiting down there, I mean, sign me up for that. Because I just think that's what we need. That's what we need to stay competitive. And I think, look, Brian Hartline was great. The guy before him was great. I'm sure that the next guy is going to be great. But I think a guy like Coach Hankton, I think he could be really spectacular, and that'd be fun to see.
Yep, I definitely agree with all of that. And so it's one of those things where you're right. Ryan Day is going to make the right hire. It feels good because I haven't always been able to say that in the past, but it's just like my feet are up. I'm laid back, chilling. Like, oh yeah, it's going to be a home run hire, whoever it is. And so very, very confident about that. Susan Buckeye, thank you for becoming a Scoop Ultra member. Thank you so much. We greatly appreciate you. Always dope to see new Scoop Ultra members join the fold. Thank you, Susan. Anything on that, Nevada?
Nah, we appreciate our ultra members, man. That the people help support the channel at that level. We love all you guys. We love our ultra members, and we just appreciate you guys so much for being here and helping out and making the show. So thanks so much, Susan. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Dan Welch, thanks for the two. I wonder if her and the cheaters up north were in on this together. I don't put nothing past anybody up there. That's my answer, Nevada.
Yeah, I mean, the timing on everything is certainly speech. I think when you put it, that's why I wanted to add the piece about how they were trying to fire her earlier in the week and
Mhm.
how that could have precipitated things. But other than that, you certainly have to look at it and kind of go, what was going on. But I think, look, she knew once she had Sharon, she's in a relationship with him for multiple years, like 2 years. He's a serial abuser. He's a stalker. He impregnated her. He forced her to get an abortion. I mean, there's like a lot of things that are kind of going in here that just you don't have to have been like a Lucy legal to know that she had him in a difficult legal situation. And do I think she's going to cash in? Yeah. Now, do I think it's all about that? No. But at some point, everybody knows you can't do this, and she knew it as well. So I'm not surprised by the outcome.
Not at all. All right. Mike Green again. Thanks for the 199. Just seen Sherrone Moore Blockbuster video. For those who you missed the show of
Uh,
the night, you would get the context. But yeah, I mean, boy. I mean, this cat, he's literally the laughing stock. Who did you say that was yesterday, Nevada? This big content creator that has millions of followers. Who did you say that
oh
was that did a video on
yeah,
him?
yeah. He's got a funky name. I can't
Yeah,
remember the name,
it's something
but he's got
funky.
like 20 million like moist critical. That's what it was. It was moist critical.
Very funky
And
name.
yeah, they're really funky name, but it's like 20 million subscribers, and he's doing this video on Sharon Moore and stuff. And yeah, crazy story. Sharon's famous now. Okay, but
Yes.
can you think about a fall from grace though? Like literally, like a week ago or 10 days ago, he's just like nobody. He's the big baller, man. He is the
Yeah.
big baller, and now he's a joke, and it's just like, holy crap.
Now, you talk about big content creators. If my 9-year-old son comes up to me, Nevada, later today or tomorrow and says, uh, Sherrone Moore, the coach from Michigan, was caught doing. I know that Mr. Beast, officially the biggest content creator, has done a video on Sherrone Moore. That's all that's left is Mr. Beast. Like he's the biggest. It's crazy how big he is. But yeah, it's just unfathomable how big this is going. But like you said, it's because of his the sucker attack he had, or the what the kids would say, um his crash out. That's what did it. This would have been a maybe a regional story, maybe, but now this is just like they're probably talking about this over in Afghanistan right now.
It's a worldwide story for sure, and Michigan's a punchline, and gonna be that for the rest of. I mean, the next 50 years, they'll always be known as the cheaters, and the fact that he was cheating just made it that much more perfect.
Yep. It does. It writes itself. Ernie Gonzalez, thanks for the 199. Who could fill the AD job up north? You know what? That's a question I haven't even asked or thought of. I have no idea. Nevada, you would probably this may be your lane. You know more about this stuff than I do. Like, who would want to take this job? I guess if it's okay, Nevada, would you say like a young up and coming guy that you know what, if I come in here and clean this up and move this in the right direction, and 5 years from now, it's a great program, and that will be a great resume builder. Like, do you see something like that? I don't know.
I think they're going to go old head. I think they're going to go with
Okay.
old. I think they need an adult in the room. They need somebody. They're already if they go Dillingham, they're already going with Howdy Doody as their coach. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I don't know if you heard the guy interviewed. He's like, "Hey, we're really happy to be here." He
Yeah.
sounds like Shaggy from Scooby Doo or something like that. But or Scooby. But I think they need an adult. I think they need an adult to kind of handle all these scandals, handle all these inevitable NCAA issues that they've got kind of right along. And they've got a lot of stuff to kind of handle. The fact that the school's already on probation, they've got a
Yeah,
lot going on. I think they need an adult.
that makes sense. That makes sense. It's just to me what adult, because the older you get, you would think like, man, why would I want to take on crap? Like I want to take on less crap the older I get. But there's going to be somebody for the job, I guess. So we'll see. That's a very good question, Ernie. And real quick, before the last super chat, blasphemy, C. Thomas, blasphemy. 3 is not terrible. Listen, it's a trilogy. I'm going to say the third is the worst, but only because 1 and 2 is so good. Don't be deterred by that, Nevada. Watch 3. It's a Western. I like it. I like all of them. It's still good to me. But no, I'm messing with you, C. Thomas. But I vehemently disagree with you that it's terrible. All right, I had to get that in. All right, let me see. Mike Green, thanks for the $4.99. Just got in trouble trying to use my EBT welfare card on seafood, channeling my inner Michigan man. You, sir, are crazy.
You should. Hey, don't go for the order the gluten-free pizza from the Little Brown Jug. Order that you could use your EBT card on that, and they'll bring it on over.
Use your EBT card on that. Oh man, leave it to Mike Green for a comment like that. Hilarious. Oh boy. All right. So that is it for the super chats. And listen, again, I'm gonna say it again. If you have not liked the video, please like the video. Like the video. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Also, Apple Podcasts, subscribe there if you prefer the podcast. Even if you don't, just do it. Take 30 seconds and do it. It helps us out. We appreciate it. Also, we're a day closer, y'all. We are a day closer to finding out who in the heck we play. We're going to want to talk about the matchup. We don't know who we're playing, though. We can talk about who we'd rather play. We've done that several times. But I want to know, Nevada, who the heck we going to play, man? And finally, I think they play at noon, right? Is it a noon game or a 3 o'clock game?
I think it's early for sure. It'll be noon. It'll be noon somewhere. That's for sure.
Oh, true. So, because I think the Oklahoma-Alabama game is Friday night, right?
Yes.
So, yep. So we're going to find out who the Buckeyes play, and we can dive into that. And I'm very excited about that. In the meantime, though, I'm sure there's going to be another update to the scandal. If there is, we'll be here to talk about it. Any last words, Nevada?
No, we just appreciate you guys so much. Thanks again for getting us over 38,000, and let's go get 40,000 subscribers. So just like I said, just thank you so much. It was crazy to think that we could ever get this big, but wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. So we just really appreciate you.
Absolute facts. Greatly appreciate y'all. Love y'all, Buckeye Scoop family, Buckeye Nation. Until next time, peace.